Yeah, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Only One KDB and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we got revealing the secrets of WWE's most iconic moments. Now I'm back, bruh. Last video I had a strep throat, my throat done got better.
Hey yo, this is
pause. But yeah, man. At first I was sick, man. I'm back, man. I still got a runny nose, but overall I'm feeling better. At first I was about a 40%. Now I'm back to about a 85-90%. So I'm back. We about to get to the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like the video because it helps me get in the algorithm. I just want to say I appreciate the love y'all been showing. I'm back in full effect now, so y'all could, you know what I'm saying, y'all could expect videos every day. And we about to get to the video. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and let's get it.
One of the most brutal images in WWE history was when Khali squeezed Rey Mysterio's head so hard that Rey started bleeding from the mouth. Obviously, that wasn't real blood, so how did WWE do it? Well, the first part of the trick is Rey Mysterio's gear. Despite being known for wearing extremely bright colors, Mysterio decided to wear a mostly black attire on this night. Then, after Khali gives Rey the big boot, the cameras go to a tight shot of the Indian Giant. During this time, a WWE crew member is discreetly handing Mysterio a small capsule. Rey puts this in his right hand, and because he's wearing black gloves, the capsule is practically invisible. Finally, just before Khali grabs the sides of Rey's head, Mysterio subtly puts the capsule in his mouth. What's inside this capsule is a mixture of corn syrup, flour, and red food coloring. Once the moment is right, Rey Mysterio bites on the capsule, causing the red liquid to pour out of his mouth, making it look like the great Khali is so strong, he's making Rey bleed from the inside. This is not the only trick WWE used to make Khali look strong. During a backstage interview, the great Khali crushed a cantaloupe and watermelon to demonstrate its strength. While Khali is strong, WWE used some tricks to help him out. The watermelon was cut on the back, which is why juice started pouring out the moment Khali applied pressure. That's also why.
Hey, how much y'all think like great Khali could lift? Y'all think he could lift like 500 pounds? I don't know, man. Whatever happened to the great Khali anyway? I don't know.
Watermelon split from the back, since that's where it was weaker. WWE would use a similar trick years later when Braun Strowman crushed an apple with one hand. You can faintly see a cut on the apple, which made it easier for Strowman to smash. On SmackDown in 2009, Edge was hosting his show, The Cutting Edge. The Radar superstar was
this is the Jeff Hardy incident.
To have Jeff Hardy as a guest, but things didn't go according to plan when Hardy was blasted by his own pyro. While it looked very convincing, it was a staged stunt. And
bro, I just found out probably like a year or two ago this was scripted. You know, this whole time I was watching WWE back then. This whole time I thought it was real, like he actually got hit by fireworks. I'm so naive, man. I'm so gullible. How did I think this was real? Obviously, it was a part of the script. But I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was real when I first seen it. I was a little kid at the time, so that's understandable.
Part of the show. First, the sparks that hit Jeff Hardy weren't that hot. A special kind of grain was used that didn't burn when touched. For the other pyrotechnics, they were carefully placed so that Hardy was close enough that it looked like it hit him, but far enough away that it didn't do any harm. Jeff Hardy also poured water on his head and body before coming out to keep his hair and clothes from burning. Goldberg used the same type of pyro for his entrance, which is why he could stand inside it without getting fried. On the topic of Edge, both he and Christian created one of the most iconic tag team moves, the Concerto.
come on, don't do this! The Concerto!
The move looked absolutely brutal, so it begs the question, what's the secret? The chairs, just like all chairs in WWE, are real, making the Concerto extremely dangerous. The trick is to have the tops of the chairs hit each other behind the opponent's head. When done correctly, the chairs make a V shape. This provides a gap between the chairs, which keeps the wrestler taking the move safe, while the ends of the chairs hitting together make a loud crashing sound.
Damn it!
In addition to the sound, the other secret is the camera angle. When shot from the right angle, the Concerto looks devastating, but from the wrong side, it's clear the opponent didn't get touched at all. But what makes the Concerto so dangerous is that both wrestlers have to swing at the exact same time. If one of them is off by just a fraction of a second, it can cause a lot of pain for the wrestler taking the move. This is actually why the two-man Concerto has been banned from WWE. The risk of a concussion or another injury is too high, so instead, wrestlers do a one-man Concerto. It's the same idea, but instead, the person taking the move lays flat on their stomach. Just like with the two-man Concerto.
They be finessing with that camera. You see how it go up and then it go back to... Bro, they do some great camera work, WWE. I gotta give it to you.
The wrestler performing the one-man move isn't aiming for the opponent's head, but just a few inches away from it. This creates just enough of a gap to keep the wrestler safe, but still look vicious. Wrestlers must still have a clear target to execute it safely though. When Randy Orton was giving Edge a concerto, you can see the Viper move Edge's hair out of the way to give himself a perfect line of sight. While this version of the move is safer, it's not entirely risk-free. At No Mercy in 2001, Edge gave Christian a concerto on top of a ladder. Due to the limited space and awkward position, Edge accidentally connected with Christian's head and gave Captain Charisma a concussion. Now, what's more vicious than a chair shot to the head? How about a sledgehammer?
Look out! Oh my! To the back of the skull of the Big Show!
How did they pull this off without Big Show suffering serious damage? Well, that's not a real sledgehammer. The wood is real, but the head is made of rubber, so while it looked painful, it didn't hurt at all. In his later years, Triple H would start using a real sledgehammer. However, he would always put his hand over the head to keep the person he was hitting safe. No WWE fan will ever forget this.
A 500-pound superplex! Oh my God!
Holy.
What the hell?
Spoiler, this is all planned. So how did WWE pull it off? Years after the stunt, Big Show came clean and revealed how it was done. WWE had airbags under the ring that were inflated once Lesnar and Big Show got on the turnbuckle. You can even see a piece of the equipment used to inflate the bags on the floor earlier in the match. These airbags were only on one side of the ring and were inflated just enough to raise that part off the ground. You can notice the ring post shaking after Big Show and Brock Lesnar push off the top rope. The impact from the superplex caused the ring post to flip. Then, the production team had the airbags deflate, causing the ring to fall to the floor. That's why there's a slight delay from when the ring posts flip to the ring actually falling down. Once Brock and Show got on the turnbuckle, the airbags underneath the ring were
I wanted to do the announcers know the script, like do the announcers know the match results before it happened.
holding it up, not the ring posts. John Cena and Batista's 2010 rivalry saw them face off in an I Quit match. One of the most extreme moments was when Batista placed Cena near the entrance stage and backed into him with a car.
Yep.
How did Cena stay safe? Well, there's a solid black box conveniently next to the car. Once the camera crew switched to an angle where you couldn't see behind the vehicle, Cena crawled over there. It would have worked pretty well too, had fans not been able to see Cena poke out from behind the black box. One of the scariest WWE moments was when Jake Roberts started terrorizing Macho Man Randy Savage and his wife, Miss Elizabeth. It began during Savage and Elizabeth's wedding reception when Roberts gifted the newlyweds a live cobra. To keep everyone safe, WWE didn't use a real snake. At least when people were around. When you see the shot with the cobra and people in it, the snake is actually a rubber toy. To make it convincing, WWE filled some tight shots with a real cobra, then added them in later. That worked fine since there was no live audience. But what about when Roberts attacked Randy Savage with a live cobra in the ring? The King Cobra is one of the most venomous snakes.
Yeah, they would have had to pay me extra. I said this in the last video. They would have had to pay me. Ain't no way I'm getting bit by a real snake.
In the entire world, and a bite from it can kill someone in 30 minutes. Of course, Savage did not die, so how did they do it? Well, that was a real King Cobra, and it did really bite the Macho Man. However, the Cobra's venom glands had been removed prior to the stunt. The snake still had its fangs though, which is why Macho Man's arm started bleeding during the bite. Despite all this, Macho Man was rushed to the hospital 5 days later with a fever. In an ironic turn of events, the Cobra died 12 days after biting Savage. The snake may have been devenomized, but Macho Man wasn't. A signature part of Kevin Owens' matches is when an
They still would have had to pay me, bro. Y'all gotta pay me $1 million extra to get bit by a real cobra? Shit. Hell no. Y'all gotta pay up. Vince, give me anything you got, bro. If I'm getting paid $100,000 a night, add a 1.1 million onto that. If I'm getting bit by a real snake, hell no.
grabs KO by the head and throws him into the steel steps.
Oh my God! You can't even look at that.
It looks vicious, and if done incorrectly, can lead to a busted head or even a concussion. However, KO does two things to keep himself safe. First, when possible, Owens will try to have the edge of the steel steps hit the top of his back, not his head. However, as an extra protection, as Owens is being thrown into the steel, he quickly covers the back of his head with both of his hands. Both of these secrets make it unlikely that Kevin Owens will get seriously hurt. However, the spot is still dangerous due to how precise Owens has to be with where he lands and getting his hands in place in under a second. Backlash 2009 ended with a bang when the Big Show chokeslammed John Cena through an exploding spotlight.
Oh my.
Okay, what's the secret here? First, the glass that Cena hit wasn't actually glass. It was actually made out of sugar glass, which is created by heating water and sugar. It looks like real glass, but breaks much more easily and doesn't cut like the real stuff. The sugar is also the reason the glass stuck to John Cena's body after going through it. As for the spotlight, the inside was fitted with padding and foam to cushion the landing. You can see the difference in these two images. And for the explosion, pyrotechnic charges were set on the side and back of the spotlight. This allowed for a big blast, while John Cena was shielded by being inside the spotlight. To win an Inferno match, you have to set your opponent on fire. This is an extremely dangerous stunt because the fire is real, and yet no one has been seriously injured. So how's it done?
I ain't gonna lie, this will be one of my worst fears, like to fight in one of these matches. Do they still have Inferno matches? I'm not sure if they still have them or not. But that's crazy, bro. Like to be thrown in fire like that. Let's see how they do it. Maybe it's not as bad as I'm making it seem.
The Beans in his 2019 autobiography. During the first Inferno match in 1998, The Undertaker fought Kane. The first trick is that both men were coated in flame retardant chemicals before going to the ring, but there was much more to it. As the match went on, Kane and Taker ended up outside of the squared circle, where Kane was knocked down. The dead man then walked up the entrance stage and started fighting Kane's manager, Paul Bearer. While this was going on, Kane crawled under the ring, where a few WWE production members were hiding. The Big Red Machine was wearing a special costume where the right sleeve could be taken off. After that was removed, Kane replaced it with a sleeve made out of flame retardant material. The crew members then applied cooling gel with an accelerant on his right arm. You can see the outline once the Undertaker returns to the ring. After that, the Big Red Machine was pushed into the flames and his sleeve was on fire. Kane quickly walked backstage, and once the cameras were off him, the fire was put out. WWE used the same trick 8 years later when Kane fought MVP in an Inferno match. Once the two were out of the ring, MVP crawled under the ring skirt. During that time, a production member quickly applied cooling gel to MVP's back. This is why Kane randomly stalled for a moment before pulling his opponent back out. Then, almost immediately after, MVP is pushed towards the fire and is set ablaze. In 2008, WWE wanted more people to watch Monday Night Raw, so they went the Mr. Beast route.
Did that work? It looked like his ass was on fire, not his back. I mean, I guess they rubbed it off. I don't know. But let's continue.
And gave money away. It was called $1 Million Mania, and while you probably don't remember who won the money, you definitely remember how the contest ended. Vince McMahon was on stage when suddenly the whole structure fell apart, injuring the chairman of WWE. Despite how real WWE tried to make it feel, it was all part of the show. But how exactly did they pull it off? To begin, a crew member was hiding under the stage with a secret latch. When the moment was right, the latch was pulled and the platform McMahon was standing on collapsed. Likewise, special levers in the giant LED sign were released when it was time for the board to come crashing down on Vince. All McMahon had to do was make sure he ducked before impact, and after that, it was all showbiz.
You're gonna be alright. I can't feel my leg. Just lie down.
In the lead up to his WrestleMania 21 match against sumo wrestler Aki Bono, Big Show demonstrated his strength by flipping over a Jeep. It was impressive, but there was a trick to pull off this stunt. SmackDown did not air live, so when Big Show went to push the Jeep, a production member came out with a car jack to lift the vehicle. This raised the Jeep to a level where Big Show could more easily push it over. You can see when the camera cuts away from Big Show that the vehicle is noticeably a few inches higher than in the last shot. One of the classic WWE moments is when a wrestler goes through the barricade. Now, what are the tricks?
I never really thought that was dangerous, like the barricade shit, because it looked padded. Look at that. That looked like a goddamn mat. That looked like the softest shit in the arena.
First, WWE barricades are padded from top to bottom to make them as safe as possible.
Right.
Second, the barricades are all small individual sections that are linked together. Before the big spot, WWE's production crew loosens the links on the barricade section that the wrestlers will hit. This causes that part of the barricade to go down with ease and keeps the rest of the barricades standing upright. There's more to it though. More often than not, wrestlers will break through the piece of the barricade that's in the timekeeper's area. This is so fans don't get in the way or accidentally knock the barricade over. However, when WWE wants to have wrestlers break through a side of the barricade where the fans are, they don't allow real paying fans to sit in that area. Instead, the company uses extras, typically local independent wrestlers not signed with WWE. They know what's going to happen, and not only does this keep the real fans safe, but also gives the exact reaction WWE wants. When Mark Henry slams Sheamus through the barricade, you can actually see a young LA Knight in the crowd. Another classic WWE spot is breaking through the steel cage. These work similar to the barricades. WWE keeps one part of the cage very loose, loose, only held by an easily breakable piece. The wrestlers also purposely avoid interacting with that part of the cage until it's time for the spot. In fact, these links are so easy to break that the cage can start to fall before the wrestler touches it, as seen during this legendary spot between Bobby Lashley and Umaga. One of the most bizarre matches in WWE history was the eye for an eye match. Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio fought in a match where the goal was to gouge your opponent's eye out. Rey lost. However, he still has 2 perfectly working eyes today, so how did WWE pull it off? When Rollins was pushing Mysterio's eye into the steel steps, Rey had his thumb placed between the steel and his right eye. This allowed Rollins to really drive the masked luchador into the steel steps with no fear of actually injuring Rey. The camera angle helps sell the danger, since you can't see Rey Mysterio's thumb protecting him. Finally, to complete the illusion, Rey Mysterio placed a fake eye on top of his real eye to make it look like the organ had popped out. A wrestler going through the ring is always an awesome spot, but how is it done? Former WWE wrestler Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, revealed in his autobiography that there's always someone under the ring at every televised WWE show. This person tightens cables, makes sure weapons are in the right spot, pushes Sin Cara's trampoline out for his entrance, and more. Before a wrestler is going to be slammed through the ring, this crew member will remove the wooden boards and support where the wrestler is going to land. The foam padding is kept in place so the ring retains its shape. Like with the steel cage, wrestlers are careful to avoid the loose section of the ring until it's time for the spot.
Strowman's not finished yet. God, the running power slam! Through the ring!
Additionally, a small pad is placed under the spot where the wrestler lands so they don't land on the cement floor. However, in some cases, this pad has to be removed quickly. At SummerSlam, The Undertaker chokeslammed Edge through the ring. The Radar superstar noted that as soon as he landed on the mat, crew members under the ring pulled the mat out. This is because a burst of fire needed to appear shortly after the spot. However, because of the flames, smoke filled under the ring. All the crew members came prepared with masks, but Edge didn't have one. This made it difficult to breathe, and the Radar superstar was left coughing until he could finally leave the ring. One of the biggest OMG moments was seeing 77-year-old Mae Young powerbombed through a table. It was a high-risk stunt, but some safety precautions were taken. First, the tables were on top of an inflated crash mat, which cushioned the landing. Bubba Ray also took the brunt of the impact to keep Mae safe. Immediately after landing, Mae Young also squeezed Bubba's hand to signal that she was okay. WWE wrestlers actually use a number of hand signals to communicate, to find out what they are and what they mean.
But yeah, that's going to do it for the video. If y'all enjoyed this reaction video, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when I drop another banger. We out of here, bro. Hope y'all boys enjoyed. This was revealing the secrets of WWE's most iconic moments. We about to get out of here. I appreciate y'all boys. I'm about to record another video for y'all, and I'm out of here.